Hello, welcome to LimpDigits. This is Oscar speaking, Oscar calling. On the other end of the line we have...
It is Laura, the newbie.
Hello Laura, how are you today?
Oh, antibiotics, I am a little bit high, so I apologise now if I go off on a tangent.
Right, so you're stoned, basically.
Well, I think pupils dilated is the best way of saying it.
On antibiotics?
Yes.
Are you like uber sensitive to otherwise harmless drugs?
No, I'm hardcore. These have just sent me the wrong direction. Let's just say that.
Okay, fair dues. It's seeing as you're new and it's kind of your turn, therefore you've chosen a game. What is it?
I've decided to do The Haunt, as I noticed that you've not done any sort of strategy apps yet, and this one seems to sort of yell out from the Google playlist as something that we should look at.
Okay, fair enough. I should give you a disclaimer. There's a reason me and Rom haven't done to date any games that require thinking. Is because we're fundamentally a bit thick. So let's just get that right on the table. So tell us a little bit about The Haunt.
Well, The Haunt is a game I've tried to find out who it's by, but it's not incredibly obvious. So the best thing to do is go online, and we'll probably provide a link somewhere. But it's a point-and-click game, so it's multiple rooms, and you have to go through solving various puzzles, finding various things to actually get through and open more rooms, so you can solve a mystery. So it's very similar to what I'd say the Seventh Guest feel, which is a very old computer game that most people probably won't remember.
Is that because you're very old?
Thank you for that. Yes.
You're welcome. It's one of those games that you have to essentially almost randomly tap on the screen, which I've always found a little bit annoying. It's like the old point-and-click games like Monkey Island and the Indiana Jones ones that Lucasfilm did before they sold out to Disney and went completely evil. Boo.
Let us not talk about that.
Yeah, does it make you angry?
Well, even though I am a geek, I do not like Star Wars.
Yeah, so back to The Haunt. You freak. Back
discerning geek.
Yeah, burn the geek as far as I'm concerned. It's one of those games where you have to tap randomly. Like you used to have to move the cursor around and hope it went over something, and you get a little icon flash that says, "Oh, click me, pull me, yeah, touch me. I want to feel." No, God, that was dangerously close to Sunita.
That was getting very
bad. But it actually, I think it works better on a touchscreen because you can sort of randomly tap around and things do jump out. Like you pick up a coin that's got a spooky Indian head on it, or moths. I don't quite understand but you have to collect moths. Why?
I don't exactly know. I mean, this is the main problem that I have with the game, is that the backstory is pretty much non-existent as far as I can tell, and this leads me on to one of the main reasons. I play this on a HTC, which is, a fairly big screen. However, a lot of the stuff that tells you a lot of this backstory, you can't read on a tiny screen.
Yeah, it is. There's one book in particular you find quite easy early on that's about 50 sodding pages long. I tried to play it on my my S3, which has actually got quite a big screen for a phone. It's not up there with the notes or anything like that, and it was eye-bendingly bad. On a tablet it's really easy to read, but it's not optimized, and the rest of the graphics are a bit grainy, so that's an annoyance for me. But having said that, it's still quite a stylish game.
I love the look of it. It's very atmospheric. There's lots of places that you can go, and it is very much where you tap next you just don't know what you're going to find, and there are quite a lot of embedded puzzles to do, some of which make sense, others of which you could just press loads of buttons and still have no idea what you're doing, which is, would help if you could read the book. But I quite like the mysterious things that you can find, which are just hidden either on the floor or in wallpaper, and that's what seems quite good about this game. You never quite know when you go into each of the rooms what you're going to find and how it links up to the other rooms. Yeah. So it does build a story quite well.
There is that nice little narrative thing, and there are two other things I think about it. One is the puzzles are phenomenally difficult. I cannot solve a single bloody one of them. And I'm not the sharpest tool in the box, but they didn't ought to be this difficult. But the thing that is brilliant is like you say, Laura, is you just tap around and occasionally it's like you find a loose piece of wallpaper that pulls back and there's some horrible omen-esque scrawls on the wall, and that adds to the atmosphere, and it is actually a little bit scary.
Well, you get scared easily. Let me just point this one out. It isn't that scary. I quite like the spookiness of it because it's supposed to be sort of a ghost house where something bad has happened. Very Amityville, if you like that sort of thing. It's the sort of Hollywood treatment of that type of plot. I just found sometimes that I'd spend ages just tapping all over the screen and not feeling very fulfilled because, like you say, when you get to the puzzles, they are really, really difficult and not exactly clear what you're supposed to be doing.
Okay, so I think we probably ought to try and sum this up. I mean, from my perspective, like you say, it's quite good fun if you're just after a quick tap, but if you're trying to get something open, it's quite troublesome.
It is a little bit. I think it'd be great on a tablet. And I know that you're being naughty. I'm trying to avoid all naughtiness. I'm on antibiotics. This is not good. It could go all over the place.
Steady.
Let's not go there. I'll stop myself. Stop myself.
No, I'm already scared enough. And we've established that that's not difficult. So give it a score.
I will give it a score of probably about 3, which is quite low for me, just because I couldn't read it. And it's not just my age; it is incredibly small. I enjoyed it, but I wouldn't play it for hours.
Yeah, I concur with most of that. I'm going to go a little bit higher, I think. I'm going to give it 3.5, because if only because A, it's quite cheap. I can't remember exactly how much I paid, but it wasn't more than a couple of quid for it. But I have found it's a game that I've had on my phone now for about a month, and I do just occasionally dip back in. So I think it scores some points for being longevity. It's going to keep going for a while, this one.
Yeah, I think it's quite good. And the other thing, of course, is that it's got moths in it, which is why Rom isn't on the line, because he's scared of them.
Yeah, Rom woke up one day and there was a moth eating his clothes.
Well, it's better than a moth eating through his eardrum.
And on that note, I think we'll wrap it up. Cheerio!
Bye! You are aware that's not me clicking my fingers.
Well, whatever cartilaginous growth that was.
That's how you make a horse go forward.
Are you clucking your tongue at me?